All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. Because I'm going to go hard. You know, I'm looking for 18 minutes, God damn it. That's the world I want to live in. All told, 25 minutes for 2 miles. Holy shit. Tyler says back to triathlon soon. Bob says you got to use the tracker app and run your route in the shape of a cock and balls. Man Bun Chris says motion is lotion and heals all. We shall see. We shall see. All right. It is time to use the boys' room. I've been really increasing my hydration, too. That's what my PA said. She goes, ease up on the coffee. Don't quit it. Ease up. Start drinking more water. And it's going to help your bladder. Okay? We're trying to avoid sticking stuff up your pee hole. There are procedures that can help you, but you're a youngin' when it comes to enlarged prostates. And once we get up there and spray the inside of your pee hole with the high pressure deal, it builds up scar tissue. And that's harder to clear out when you're old. So we want it to be a one and done. So kick that can down the road. She also described to me that post-op on the aqua ablation, what they do is they stick literally a very, very small pressure washer. Imagine like the inside of a cement mixer where the guy gets in there and sprays the inside of it and cleans it out. That's what they're doing on a very, very small level. And it increases the openings of your vessels that urine travels through. And so for about a week after, you're peeing out some pee-pee, blood, and dick meat. And it's a little rough around the edges. So I kind of don't want that. I kind of don't want to do that, you know. Tyler says, hey, EZ, here's an idea. We have another group similar to Fatathon, but it's for running. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't like committing to things. I think if it happens, it would be you guys doing it. I can never commit, as you know. I'm too busy. I'm too tapped now to commit to anything. All right. Don't go anywhere. I will be back momentarily. Rebecca says, I will not join a running club. I would rather die. Stand by. All right, I'm back. Thank you. Thank you for putting up with me and how I do things around here. Spastic _ Mongo looks new. I don't recognize that name. It may be an Eric Zane Show podcast hater. With the line, you are definitely a predator. Either that or it's a new person who has a feeling about me. Maybe I have predator vibes. And that's true. The chat refers to me as a pervert regularly because of the situation with the area kids swimming in my backyard swimming pool. This began last year when one of the neighborhood kids mowed the lawn, and then the name Mr. Pop Pop was born, unbeknownst to me. And because first they started talking about the pool, and then the kid who mowed the lawn started calling me Rich Eric because we have a pool, which is 100% true. And I go, well, I can handle that name. I mean, who wouldn't love being known as Rich whatever? But they went ahead and started the other name. No, that's Mr. Pop Pop. After telling this, the chat then ran with all sorts of different variables in the story that are not true. Like Man Bun Chris here, he makes he makes quite an effort to do this. He writes, "You had your shirt off, and you helped him, and then you got him lemonade by the pool. Were your pants on but down?" says David in Hudsonville. Now, yesterday, Pooh Bear calls me from work, and she says, "Hey, the neighborhood kids are planning a pool party." And I guess, like, it came up in their little, because there's about 150 kids here in this neighborhood, maybe more. Jeremy says, "Didn't you ask the kids to call you Mr. Pop Pop after you spilled paint on them?" Yeah, that's a reference to the Mr. McGregor video on sexual child molestation in the 1980s. No. The chat suggests that the name Mr. Pop Pop sounds pedophile. Pooh Bear says, kids are coming over. And I never did see them till about 8 p.m. And then the gate opens. And all these little boys and one little girl come streaming into the backyard. And I'm like, this is my cue to go. Because I was actually in the yard working to make it look, you know, you got to have an image to uphold. I can't have that place looking like shit. Alan says, to become a molester, you must first be molested. Okay, now you're just saying that because I was, which I never really made a big deal about it at summer camp. But I think my priest covered it up, which is what you do. You don't actually call the police. My mother decided, okay, Eric was molested. Let's not call the cops. Let's go tell the priest. Dum-dum. That's the way it was back then. Luckily, sweet mom was with the boys and the little girl. And was supervising. But I'm like, hey, well, it's good to see you. How are you? Okay, well, all right. Well, you guys have fun. Be careful. And Pooh Bear was home, thank God. She was already in bed. 8 o'clock that's bedtime in our house. Now, I was not ready for bed, but, I went inside. I'm like, now, I'm always, like, concerned that just something's going to happen. It's just, but I don't mind the kids, and Diane and I encourage it, but I'm always thinking of you idiots, all right, when it comes to this. And how you're going to twist this and make me sound ridiculous. All right. Well, that's all I got. It's a summer of kids swimming in the pool. Nothing more than that. It's either my grandkids or the neighborhood kids. Sometimes Pooh Bear when she has a drinking day with the blondes. Not me. All right, we have a soccer game tonight, ladies and gentlemen. The Michigan Rangers, leaders of the NPSL, hey, Bruce, are taking on the Milwaukee hand jobbers. If you would like to attend the game, you can buy tickets online. I'm actually going to provide the link for you in the Twitch stream because dumbasses like Nick in the arena don't have the wherewithal to be able to just go to the audio podcast and click on a link because it says get tickets here, and he can't seem to do it. So because it says get tickets, excuse me. I'm going to post that right now. There it is. It should be there for you in the chat if you want to get tickets to the Michigan Rangers game. 7 p.m. If you're there and you're in the stands, you got to let me know that you're there. Or text me or send me an email or a message on Messenger. I will shout you out during the game. If you are already going to the game, remember, drink a lot in the parking lot. Get a DD or not. I don't care if you drive drunk. Get hammered and go to the game. The more drunk you are, the more you yell at the refs and the opposing team's bench. The last time I was at this venue at the Davenport University football field, some of these fans were screaming at the opposing team. And it almost resulted in a fucking brawl. I am not kidding you. Which, by the way, Chris D sent me a video from the last game that was, I think it was in Chicago. We're going to have to save it for the Patreon. I am so sorry. What a ridiculous thing I just put you all through. I apologize for that. Man Bun Chris says, you asked me to email you, LOL. I did? Okay, sorry about that. Let me move on. In Grand Rapids, we've got an issue with the police. Now, the police here, they were featured on they did a documentary, and it was GRPD Full Access, and everybody loved it. And this was hot on the heels of that one cop shooting that dude in the head. And, you know, police brutality has always been an issue. Well, I'm not saying that they are actually that it's happening, but the public says this is a horribly brutal police department. Now, not all of the public feels that way. In fact, here in West Michigan, most people, they support the cop who shot the black guy in the back of the head. Now, I thought that was crazy. I thought that should not have happened, and that I was of the opinion that guy should have been punished in some way. You know, I think that the manslaughter charge was appropriate. I was shocked that the jury said nope, and it was like deadlocked, and they had to declare a mistrial, and it was like 14-1. It was like one or two holdouts or something like that, and then the DA said, well, I can't win this trial, so fuck it, no charges. I think if you did a poll of West Michigan, 99% of the people that live here said that the cop was right and should have shot him. In fact, the way these hillbillies think, they were probably like, he should have shot him in the head and then went into the trunk of the cop car and got the rocket-propelled grenade out and shot him in the back of the head with that too. But this story doesn't really I think this one flies in the face of what the people want in terms of the ones that say that the cops are like brutalizing people. The cops got a call saying that two guys walked into the Walgreens with guns. One of them had an AR-15. And he walked out of the Walgreens, and he didn't do anything, and he lawfully had them. Now, I don't know if this was one of those dick faces that was doing the, isn't that a thing where you can carry a gun, like, around your neck? Like Flavor Flav has a medallion, and it's like, okay, open carry or some shit like that. And you get people who are assholes who do that. You saw that a lot in COVID. Remember COVID where, like, people would have, like, a mask on their face, and then they'd be standing next to a guy who's got a bazooka and an AR-15. And he's like, yeah, this is my right to do that. And for some reason, that brought out all the crazies. And I was like, I don't know, man. I just don't want to get COVID. And like, yeah, well, Dr. Fauci, I got this in case I see Dr. Fauci. I'm going to shoot him. Total assholes. So I don't know if it was one of those, but the cops show up and they're sorting it out. And while they're sorting it out and figuring it out, and the guys with the guns were not charged with anything. But there was some bystanders that were there in the parking lot, like picking up prescriptions or whatever the fuck. They confronted the cops and got into it. And one of the cops had to punch this fucking bystander in the face. And the bystanders got in trouble for fucking up their jobs. And so now the chief of police, Eric Winstrom, is like, fuck you. And he says, comply now, complain later, is what he's suggesting. Let's get into this story right now.
We begin with two dueling accounts tonight about a situation captured by bystanders and GRPD body cameras that ended with the arrest of two Boston Square residents and charges of disobeying orders and assaulting police.
Bystander video went viral on social media, prompting a press conference earlier today. News 8's Duncan McLean was there and joins us live from the newsroom.
Brian, Amber, on Saturday, people in the Boston Square neighborhood approached a Grand Rapids police officer concerned about a man who was seen carrying a gun into a Walgreens. Officers quickly responded, de-escalating that situation and detaining the man, eventually releasing him after determining he was lawfully
there's the gun.
Open carrying his firearms. The viral social media video picked up in the midst of that operation, showing the rough arrest of two bystanders. Their account of the incident and the police department's differ substantially.
Okay, before we get into anything else, what kind of asshole walks around with an AR-15 around his neck? I mean, what a fucking dick. It should, okay, fine. And, I mean, let's be honest here. If you're a black guy carrying that around, you're going to get a lot less wiggle room from the cops than some of these white hillbillies that do that. Holy shit, what the fuck, man?
These young people openly ignoring lawful instructions from the police.
Go over that way.
Wow.
Every time they gave a command to move, we moved.
Keep going, dude.
Grand Rapids Police Department Chief Eric Winstrom addressed the video in a news conference on Monday, commending his officers for the job they did in de-escalating the initial situation.
If you look at that clip back there, this looks like a family carnival. And I think Grandma here got involved, and in this still shot, you see the cop actually kicking her in the asshole or the vagina. Right there. At that moment, he kicked her vagina in.
Police Department Chief Eric
and there she, and then he falls like a, what the fuck, man?
Winstrom addressed
so then there's Grandma.
The video in a news conference on Monday, commending his officers for the job they did in de-escalating the initial situation and their handling of the bystanders, who the department maintains were putting themselves in harm's way by standing behind the man carrying two guns.
Well, you're in their backdrop, so it's not a good place to stand.
It's your last chance, you're going to jail. They're placing themselves and everyone else in more danger.
Okay, back up. Back up.
Okay, so it's like the neighborhood crew is coming out to help the guy who has the AR-15 around his neck. They are deciding, let's get involved. Let's support the AR-15 asshole.
Back up. They already told me what's going on, so back up, please. Please back.
Ned Andre contends they were put in that situation by the officer's response.
This cock was arrested. This is one of those assholes. Listen to what this moron has to say.
We were not standing behind those gentlemen until.
Why were you even there, Ned? Go home, Dick.
The second police officer arrived and he established a poor perimeter. He established a poor line of sight. He got out of his car and pointed his gun at us. The other officer was using the neighbor's fence as a backstop. He was over here. He saw us. We saw him. We were out of harm's way. It was the second officer who came. He aggravated, he incited, he escalated.
Once the incite,
I always love it when people who have no idea what they're talking about act like they do. It's kind of like me when I talk about everything.
incident was dealt with, officers moved to arrest Andre for disregarding orders.
Sir, you're under arrest. Put your hands on top of your head.
Listen, I put my life on the line for that kid.
I put my life on the line for that kid. I mean, the one with the AR-15 around his neck? Fuck you, Ned. You dumb
The rough
bastard.
takedown prompting response from additional bystanders, and the moment shared on social media. An officer touching the man's chest, being swatted away, and swinging back, resulting in a chaotic arrest and the eventual use of a taser. The rough takedown prompting response from additional bystanders, and the moment shared on social media. An officer touching the man's chest.
Okay, so he puts his hand on the guy. He didn't like that.
Being swatted away and swinging back, resulting in a chaotic arrest and the eventual use of a taser.
Now he became an active aggressor. Obviously, that takes it to a higher level. What is going to be reasonably believed to be effective to address the situation at this time? That's why it escalated to a point where
He's pissed. He never gets this wound up. This guy's pretty even keel.
eventually that individual was tasered.
He's bagging away, and the police...
Okay, now this guy appears at everything. This is Robert S. All right? And every time this happens, this guy is here.
He's bagging away, and the police officer pushes him. When Mr. Vic Williams goes to push his hand away from touching him, now he hits him in the jaw.
The chaos that ensued is not disputed by either side, but the criminal liability levied in response taken as hypocrisy by a community weary of police being cleared by the law.
We got police who have ran over and killed
Can we just say police? Do we have to say police?
Samuel Sterling. Not going to court, not going to jail. We have
Okay, now he's referencing there was a couple cases. Sterling was run over by a cop, and that ended up kind of going away. They said it was justifiable, or it was during they were trying to apprehend him, and he got run over or some shit.
officers who have shot people in the back of the head.
Now
not
he's
going to
referencing
jail
the Sure case.
because they fear for their life. But now we have an officer hitting a man in his jaw as hard as he could. And for this man defending himself, we have a police department behind me that want to see him in jail.
He looks like a blues singer, like he could bust out a harmonica and, I don't know, maybe like, or like the type of guy that might live on a train.
Now, Chief Winstrom said they're always looking for ways to improve, but added that the best way to approach that is
How
to
about this guy's hair?
comply with officers
Legendary.
in the moment and complain to the department later. We asked him what the harm would have been to have just let the men go once the original gun complaint was handled. He said if they tolerate unlawful behavior and apparent refusal of orders, they're condoning it, and that behavior could spread. Commissioner Womack is calling for all charges against the men to be dropped. They've also filed complaints with the department, the city, and the United Nations.
The United Nations. What's with the United Nations complaint? What are they going to do? Is NATO going to get involved in this? I don't know. If Guy walks into a Walgreens with an AR-15 and the police show up trying to find out what happened, who are the assholes that run to AR-15 Guy? I don't get it. Yeah, we're gonna defend the guy who's got the AR-15. He's a good youth. He's a good man. AR-15 kid. God damn. Cole adds, get the United Nations to fight the Grand Rapids Police Department. Bob adds, see, well, cops can touch you, but you can't touch cops. Okay? Easy. Yeah, we're getting a lot of hillbillies here with these comments. Badger is a hillbilly. He says, I'd tase them all and maybe some rubber bullets. Cole says, rule of thumb, if cops have guns drawn and you're not involved, leave. Bob says, sounds like GRPD would be entertaining on the show On Patrol Live. I wish they would bring back Wilkes-Barre Scranton on the show. Rebecca says the only people who open carry are the people looking to get a reaction from the public. Yeah, I remember I used to see people during COVID all the time, especially in Meijer. You'll have a guy with a T-shirt that says "Come and take it," or it's Fauci's face with the red circle around it and the slash going through it, and then he's got a pistol on his hip. You're absolutely right about that. The last thing you want, if you're a bad guy coming into a place to shoot it up, is to see somebody who's got a pistol on his hip. If he's got a pistol on his hip, that's the first guy you shoot. That's mass shooting 101. Just spend the $100 and get it concealed. Cole. I don't know what he means by this. This might be some type of racist joke. What about shooting the guy, filming it, then destroying the phone, then just sprinkle some crack on them and call it good? I'm pretty sure that's a racist crack, Cole. I don't know if I can tolerate racism on the show, Cole. Now, by the way, this is not the Cole that used to bang Greg Freebeer's wife. We have two Coles. Cole is in Colorado Springs, and he's a total hillbilly. You better knock that shit off. That's a horrible comment. I can't condone that. What the hell? Badger says, save that for who are these broadcasters? Exactly. Cole says that's a Dave Chappelle joke. Well, yeah, when Dave says it, yeah, but how's anybody to know that, you asshole? Anyway, today, Who Are These Broadcasters happens. Check it out on the Who Are These podcast page. It's a lot of fun. All right. Where am I here? Israel bombing Iran is top of mind right now. This may result in open war. This might result in Gaza Part 2, and then some, because if you think about it, the Israeli military has incredible might, and if they get into an all-out war, not just lobbing missiles at each other, but like invasions and guerrilla warfare and whatnot, how long before other Middle Eastern countries defend Iran? And if it starts to escalate, does the U.S. end up getting involved? This, honestly, could result in a world war. That's not out of the question to think about. This moment on Iranian TV, this is legit like a newscaster. This is how they do the news there. You've got a lady doing the news, and she's like talking about whatever the fuck, and then a missile hits the TV station. This is quite a piece of footage.
آنچه که ملاحظه کردید صدایی که شنیدید فضای
She's talking about the free country market going on in downtown Tehran, along with the kids' carnival.
غبارآلوده
It's the community calendar on the Iranian news channel.
آنچه که ملاحظه کردید
I'll translate.
صدایی که شنیدید فضای غبارآلوده استادیوم
Just as she threw it to Ahmed for the weather. Holy shit, was that intense. God damn, I got to see that again.
ملاحظه
The
کردید
reaction time was minimal. I don't know. I think she
صدایی که شنیدید فضای غبارآلوده استادیوم
shit. God damn, man. That is that's horrible. Rebecca says, R.I.P. my eardrums. David says, loud noises. Rebecca adds, the U.S. sent a tanker aircraft to the region. Alan adds, been a while since my ears were raped. My apologies on that, folks. I should have anticipated that was going to happen. My bad. Have you heard about Ozempic mouth? There are some side effects now that are being revealed, and I don't know if that's going to stop anybody from Ozempic, but Ozempic is so effective at helping you to lose weight that you start to look like shit. This is Sharon Osbourne. Now, from the neck down, she looks like Irish hunger striker Bobby Sands. There's a reference from way back that I doubt anybody's going to get. I might have dropped that one in years past. But, I mean, she makes Karen Carpenter look like Ronnie Coleman in the 1980s. And her face is completely ruined because she's trying to replace the mass that has disappeared from her face from Ozempic. A lot of women are discovering that the sudden weight loss, like you look at her, she's old. Like I think she's like 95 years old. And when all that fat leaves, you know, that skin was stretched and elastic. But not elastic, but it was full of filler. And then it disappears, and then all those wrinkles emerge and those lines, and she looks like a monster. So she goes and she gets work done. You know how you like get shit in your lips to make them appear more full, but that still doesn't help her face. So yes, her body is waif-like, maybe too much. That's why I kind of think that this is going to start to turn on people as they use this product. That's why I'm so proud of Jeremy for the 104.9 pounds that he's lost in 42 weeks through diet, exercise, and lifestyle change. She isn't the only one who looks like shit. You gotta love these New York Times pages or these New York Post pages because they always just drop so many ads on you. It's just ridiculous. There's the look at Whoopi Goldberg. Okay, now I will say we'll talk about her face in a second, but she's actually looks somewhat lean, maybe a little too small, though. And she doesn't do herself any favors with the hair. Horrible looking human being. I don't know. I think these people just need to kind of like live their life minus the Ozempic, get healthy through diet and exercise, maybe not focus on losing so much fat. This is another one. Now, I don't know. This is Rebel Wilson. I'm not sure who that is. I think I've heard that name before, and I don't see the same distortion there. I think she is just fugly. That's what this is. But maybe she's still in the process. And I think that people who are rich and famous, they get so consumed about their appearance that they get almost like a body dysmorphia. So I think out of the three people here, that the one that is the worst off is Rebel Wilson here. Because I don't think there's any way that this human being looks normal in any setting. Like that smile and that face there, if I saw that, I would be like, I look horrible. I need to walk around with a bag around my head. God damn. Badger says, I just puked in my mouth. So Ozempic mouth is a thing, ladies and gentlemen. They're describing the side effects linked to rapid facial weight loss from a higher dose of the GLP-1 medication in the new study. Many users of Ozempic, who I know, report noticeable volume loss in the face, which can result in the formation of lines, wrinkles, sagging skin, and jowls around the mouth. You know, if you really want to focus on this, your face has, all sorts of muscle connections in it. Under the fat, above the skull. I swear to God, there are devices you can get that actually strengthen your facial muscles. And it results in, I swear to God, it's almost like a bite splint you put in your mouth and you work your jaw on it. It's like a real aggressive chewing that you're doing, and you'll feel your facial muscles get fatigued, and then they're going to grow. So what that's going to do is that's going to increase the mass in your face, and it's going to reduce those lines and wrinkles and shit because the fat has been replaced by muscle. So you're basically getting a strong musculature in your face. Now, if you really enjoy eating snatch, sometimes when you do that, your jaw starts to get tired from all that serious chowing you're doing, or if you're eating ass. With strong facial muscles, you will not fatigue as quickly, and you will improve your ability to eat vagina or ass. Well, it's just something to think about for any of you that want to increase the strength in your facial muscles. That's a pro tip from your old pal EZ. These experts say that the volume loss can also worsen the appearance of existing fine lines, wrinkles, and skin laxity, contributing to a more aged smile and overall look. Point is, nothing beats good old hard work, and also nothing beats Mother Nature. Put the Ozempic down, put the Wegovy down, or whatever the fuck it is. Put some time into this, and gradually get yourself into shape like Jeremy and wannabe Rebecca, who is light years behind everybody. I shouldn't say that. She's ahead of me. All right. That's pretty much it. Be careful out there. Rebecca says, I think I heard that it has something to do with your connective tissue not being able to keep up with the weight loss and lack of nutrients, because the whole key to Ozempic is that it removes the drive to eat. Might have something to do with it. I know this. Jeremy's lost 100 pounds and his face doesn't look like shit. Bob says Rebel Wilson was the fat girl in movies, and for the longest time for her career wasn't allowed to lose weight. Is she related to Brian Wilson? The dead wacko from the Beach Boys? On today's Patreon bonus podcast, I have more details about the Vance Bolter murder spree, killing the Minnesota politician and her husband and attempting to kill two more, and how he spent that day. It's shocking how that unfolded. I have more of those details. I also have information about his hit list. He actually had a person on his hit list who I have spoken to directly. I'll cover that in today's Patreon. Yet another example of crazy people who finding someone that they disagree with and shooting them dead. Hot on the heels of Luigi Mangione, who is supported by this nation's hippies and morons who think that they have the insurance industry figured out. And then you have this guy who's supported by far-right extremists who support this type of behavior. That's the sub-headline here. Sickening, frankly. While I have you, please consider today's asshole of the day. You can add your suggestions on the chat. Please do that at about this time. Before we turn to that, though, the guys who cut down the trees, Kuiper Tree Care in West Michigan, they can help you with any type of tree removal. You have a horrible-looking tree that's way past its prime. Get rid of that. Grind the stump down. They can help you in West Michigan. Kuiper Tree Care, Kuiper, KuiperTreeCare.com. Call and mention EZ. You can call and you can text 616-828-8225. That's 616-828-8225 for Kuiper Tree Care. I was racing this weekend at Berlin, BerlinRaceway.com. Tickets are $14 up until 11:59 p.m. Friday night. After that, the price increases on race day. Get them at BerlinRaceway.com. You can check out the full schedule there. 15 and under, always free. Parking, always free. You will really save money when you check out the entertainment option at Berlin Raceway. There's a bar there with a band playing after the races. That's a great time to hang out after the races. The drivers show up there, and they'll hang out with you. Beer is cheap and cold. You can bring in all the snacks you want in your cooler or bag as long as it's 12 by 18 or smaller. No glass and no booze. You got to get all the booze inside at Berlin Raceway. And finally today, our pal Frank Fuss wants to make getting a healthcare.gov policy simple. Check him out at buyinsurancehere.com. If you're in between jobs, or perhaps you own your own business, or the boss does not offer health care, you got to get it on the marketplace. Now, anybody can do that just by going to their website and doing it, but why? Have Frank do it for you. It's just a short phone call, handful of minutes, and it doesn't cost you anything. Frank does this for free. He gets paid by insurance companies. That's how this whole process works, because he's putting you into their policies. Frank Fuss from My Policy Shop Insurance. Asshole of the day, Stevie says, Cole for being racist. Bob says, anyone who open carries a rifle. They are douchebags. It's fine when Dave Chappelle says a joke, but I don't know. You can't just blurt it out. Then everybody thinks you did it. That you're just saying a racist joke, you asshole. You wouldn't utter out the N-word just because Dave Chappelle says it, you stupid ass. Cole is the asshole of the day. We just got Becca Shea back here. And her husband, Kevin's black, for God's sake. Fuck. I don't want you to alienate her with your stupid jokes, so fuck you. Do better, jackass. All right. I'll talk to you a little bit later on the Patreon bonus podcast. God, I don't have my song ready to finish the show. Hang on. I got to do this right. There we go. That does it. Thanks for being here. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.